Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of the Vampire Diaries on the CW. This week we've seen Season 8, Episode 4, which is called An Eternity of Misery. Again, taking a line from Season 1. And, apologize about that weird little chat notification. But yeah. I did really enjoy last week's episode, and surprisingly enough, this season's actually turning into a pretty good season. As I said, I thought Season 7 was decent. I'm looking back at it a little bit better now. But I think Season 8 is even better, and it's sort of stacking up more so against some of our earlier seasons, better than that did, I think, so far. And certainly it's helped by the fact that Kevin Williamson is back, helping to write episodes alongside Julie Plec. Of course, Kevin Williamson being involved in the first couple seasons. So, it's good to have him back, to write the final. It's very fitting. And I sort of feel an extra touch to the show that I haven't felt in a while. And it's like I said, though, even during Season 7, when I wasn't really that enthused about it, I still said that I have a lot of faith in how they're going to eventually end it, and it's definitely living up to that so far. I'm really liking where the season's heading, like the direction. I even think our villains, our final antagonists, the Sirens, Sybil, Celine, and now Cade. I think they're actually semi-decent villains. Certainly not on Klaus's level or anything, but better than others we've gotten, as I said last week. But yeah, I really like this episode, just like I liked last week's, if not more, really. We get this flashback in the beginning, to, I think it was around like 730 BC or something like that. And we basically get the Siren origin in this episode. I'm not going to go back and forth about all the little flashback segments we got. I'm just going to talk about it in general right now. We basically get the origin of the Sirens in this episode, and we're told this story about Cade, or Arcadius. And he was this psychic, but of course when he's found out after kind of seeing too far into certain people's business, he is burned. But right before he is fully burned and killed, that's when he sends out this massive psychic type of thing that really just dooms people who commit these sins. And we find out he's sort of like the leader, like a king or devil from hell, or at least the TVD originals universe version of hell. And so I like that importance behind him. And of course he's also responsible for creating the Sirens, of course being Sybil and Celine. And we're kind of teased about Celine's identity throughout the episode, but it kind of turns out to be who I expected. At one point where I led to believe it might actually be Georgie, but it turns out to be Celine, the babysitter, or the nanny, who I had expected. But you could kind of see it. They had her look pretty similar to how she did in the flashbacks. And her and the actress who plays Sybil do sort of have like similar skin tones and such. So I don't know, it kind of works. I didn't really explain it the right way, but you know what I mean. But let's go through the episode. I did write notes, although it's a little bit more scattered because I was having lunch as I was watching this, so I didn't get to get everything down. But like I said, we got the origin of the Sirens, and we find out that Sybil was actually, a decent person at one point who was sort of lured into becoming what she is by her sister. And, and she was thrown out and exiled. That's when Celine sort of took her under her wing and unknowingly to Sybil for a period of time lured sailors, to their deaths, and then would eat their flesh. And as soon as Sybil found out about that, she did try to, kill herself, basically, and that's when Cade was brought in to create them for what they are. And this sort of creates parallels to, sort of Stefan and Damon's story. And we get some pretty strong scenes with Stefan and Sybil a little bit later into this episode, when she sort of plays on his part in creating Damon and luring him into what he is. And Stefan, of course, carries that with him all the time. But I sort of like that tie back, and we get a sort of question throughout the episode, or at least in one scene, that is Stefan still kind of doomed to an eternity of misery, really, or is that where he's going in the afterlife? Because of what he's done, he can't really erase that, despite trying to redeem himself throughout all these years. And Stefan sort of acknowledges that, as he would. Of course, as the Ripper of Monterey, and sort of being the catalyst for what Damon has become. Even as far back as Len. And Stefan knows this. He's never really denied that. For a long time. So we'll talk more about that. But I did like all the flashbacks, and I thought they were fine for setting up, the sirens. And although the reveal of the identity of the sister, was kind of expected as to who it was, I think it did work. It's fine. We also had Damon looking into a Peter Maxwell for Sybil in this episode, or at least for the sirens, and we find out that this is actually Matt's dad. We see Matt come back after Damon has Peter contact him in order to find something, but he doesn't realize it's Matt. And Damon ends up stabbing his father, and that's when Matt shows up, and Matt shoots Damon. And I sort of like Damon's reaction seeing Matt, Donovan. I just like Damon's attitude towards Matt, and you guys know my feelings on Matt as a character. He's been sort of one of the more useless characters in the series. Now that he's poorly acted or anything, but I just think I always thought they could have done a lot more with Matt than they did. But it's fine to see him here. You kind of expected it. And Matt's father being brought into the show, brings up some tiebacks to his mother and back in season 1 and such. So at least they're doing something with Matt's character for the final season, I guess. Let's see. And at first, like I said, we were led to believe that Georgie might have been the second siren at first, when she shows up and locks Rick in the the tomb, or not the tomb, but of course the armory, cave area, behind the door, and then she injects stuff into Vervain to knock him out. But this is all manipulated by Celine, of course, the nanny, and this is to get done what she wanted to get done. And again, Sybil explains the stuff in the origin. We also find out as Matt's trying to get information onto Damon. Matt's never liked Damon, but he wants to find out why Damon's acting like this, why he's doing this now, why he shot off his humanity and stuff like that. Even though he doesn't care that much, he's probably asking more so for Elena's sake, really. But we find out, we get an idea that anyway, Facebook notification. But anyway, we find out that Tyler might actually, be alive, or so we thought at one point. We find he was left in the car. There might still be time for him, or something like that. Then we had, let's see. And again, we had that really good scene between Stefan and Sybil. Stefan sort of owning up to what he is, as he always does. And we find out that Cade's still playing a hand in leading the sirens in a way. He's the king of hell, the devil and such. And he's the one that needs to be killed in order to completely free Damon from, their influence. And so I'm guessing Cade will actually be brought in more of a physical sense again in the present, a little bit later into the season. And there's something at the end of the episode that really excited me, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And Matt, he does find the location of Tyler, the car that Damon had left him in, and Tyler is in fact dead, for good it seems. And, you knew they were going to have some character deaths in the final season. I still think there's going to be at least one or two major ones, within the last couple episodes. But Tyler, he's a somewhat significant death. I'm commending him for actually going through with killing him off. Tyler's character, as I said last week, I've always had mixed feelings on. At one point I liked his development, but then he sort of felt a little bit pathetic and petty with the way he tried to get revenge on Klaus in the originals. Although he was justified in doing so, of course, but the way he went about it was completely unhonorable and such. And Klaus has become such an awesome, person, character, so... But, still surprised to see him actually kill off Tyler. I'll commend them for it. They're actually having the balls to do certain things. So I'm actually liking it happen, although I know a lot of fangirls are probably upset right now. And, of course, Matt, just completely, is broken by seeing Tyler like that. His dad comforts him. And then we see Celine. When Georgie makes it back, Celine kills her, and because of the accident Georgie had told Alaric about previously. Alaric, by the way, he also escapes from the tunnel, due to a way out Georgie had actually helped him find. But Georgie gets her neck snapped, and as we see Celine sort of eating her flesh, briefly anyway, Georgie is sucked up into this abyss or something, similar to what happened to Miss Katherine Pierce back in season 5. So this made me really, really curious. I don't know if it's meant to say that Georgie was sent to hell or whatever we heard about, but it's definitely meant to be the same way Katherine went. And it was sad to see that happen to Georgie, because she wasn't a bad person really, and I also like the actress. Again, she was on Drake and Josh, so that's awesome. But what I'm kind of hoping for here in my ultimate fantasy in the final season, that this means that with Cade being the leader of hell, the devil essentially in this world anyway, maybe this could be a way for Katherine to come back. We're all expecting Elena to return by the final episode, and I think we will get that no matter what. But I think it'd be cool if we also see the return of Katherine, whether Katherine actually ends up helping put an end to whatever's going on, or if we just see Katherine in the distance or watching Stefan or something, then going off, and leaving or something. I don't know. I think that'd work. She's a survivor, right? Maybe they could just explain it with, Cade eventually being killed, however he is. Maybe this releases some of the characters, that were sent there. Julie Plec and the rest of them have to know how much of a fan favorite Katherine actually turned into, though. And, I'm not sure how much Nina Dobrev actually wants to do in the, in her involvement in the last part of it. But, I think she'd be willing, to get more to sink her teeth into, give her more of a reason to actually, want to be there. Even though I know she probably already would for Elena, but I don't know, I just really want Katherine to come back, and if she does in any way that I talked about and makes it and survives, I will freak the fuck out. But, overall, really good episode. Just as good as last week's, and it's really turning into a pretty solid final season. I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes again. But let me know what you guys thought about the episode. I'm giving it an 8.6 out of 10, about the same as last week. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys. My next video will probably be tomorrow, because I do have to go to bed a decent time tonight to wake up early for work. Fun. But I will get my reviews of Van Helsing out, probably sometime on Sunday, as well as my usual review of The Walking Dead. Sometime after that, Z Nation, maybe some things about Colin Skull Island, we'll see. But if you guys enjoyed the video, and peace.